Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome to Hardcore Heroes. How are you guys doing this fine Thursday afternoon?
Pretty good. I'm looking. Tyranny just came out this morning. So after I've got a friend
days
playing.
Ago?
No, it just came out this morning. The game.
Oh, the game.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you were talking about.
I thought we weren't going to talk politics, Neil.
Yeah, we're not going to, but that was such a low ball I had to swing.
All right, fair enough. But
I regret it immediately.
I've got a friend who's playing it right now, and if he's got good things to say, I'll probably pick it up after this session because I love Obsidian. They're one of the few developers that I actually still respect.
What's the dev team again?
Obsidian. It's published by Paradox.
Yeah. Those guys are good.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited.
How about Bastion and Nick?
I'm great. Nothing wrong today. I did not throw up all day. I may not throw up.
I may not throw up. That's always a good sign. What about you, Nick?
I don't know, man. It's been pretty stressful for me, really. My internet stopped working last Friday. Shall I tell the story about what happened? It is sufficiently
Tell the
bad.
story. It's a good one. Makes me feel better about American internet.
My internet stops working last Friday. So I called up Sky, who are my ISP. And they're like, all right, we'll send someone in the next 5 days, working days, to come and look at it. So this morning on Thursday, someone comes around. The way our internet works is like there's like a box sort of like down the end of the street. And then there's like cables going underground. Then it goes up to like a telephone pole. And then from the pole, it goes to all the different houses. So the guy climbs up the pole to check if it's all working. And he comes back down and he's like, somebody's basically been up there. Somebody else has been getting their internet installed. And there's no spare lines for him to connect this new house to. So he's just taken my phone line and connected my phone line to somebody else's house last Friday. So that's why my internet's gone down. But he goes to try and fix it, but there's no spare lines up there. Obviously, that's why the guy did it in the first place. So now I've got to wait like another 5 days for somebody to come out who's going to like... Because, right, I said that to him, like, why don't you just take my line back? Yeah. And he said, because the people who are now using it, they didn't really have anything to do with it, and he doesn't want to just disconnect them. It kind of sounds like bull.
Yeah.
To me.
But like they shoot you, they steal your food to give it to another person, and now they're like, well, we're not going to take their food back because they didn't do anything wrong. But here you are now starving.
Exactly. No, you are right. So that's what happened.
I mean, I can see it being a little like, imagine if they stole food and gave it to a charity. Would you go to the charity and demand it back?
But it's not a charity. It's just another private citizen.
I know, but
maybe if they took Nick's internet for a good cause, you know, maybe if it was to power the internet at like the Boys and Girls Club or something, or some sort of like good cause, I would be like, all right, Nick, you can suffer with no internet so these people who are doing good work. But that asshole is just watching porn down the street, all right? He doesn't need his internet.
Yeah, he is.
I can see... I mean, basically, the people who did his neighbor's internet had no conscience, and Nick's guy did. So, yeah.
Well, the guy who stole my line, he's the contractor for British Telecom. So he works on a. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. He works on like he gets paid per job rather than by the hour. So if he has to like extend a line out, it's going to take him like 3 or 4 hours. Or if he just steals my line, it's only going to take him 20 minutes. So if he steals everyone's lines, he gets more jobs done, he gets paid more.
Fucked up system.
Yeah. You should have filed a complaint about that.
Yeah, I should. I think I will. I don't know. It's pretty annoying.
Well, so in response, you're stealing your neighbor's Wi-Fi right now, right?
Yes. Well, not stealing. I asked them for the code. Yeah, I asked them. I didn't just take it. Can you guys see and hear me all right? Because like all your cameras are frozen for me.
Yeah. We can see and hear you fine, but you are occasionally stuttering or cutting. So as a warning to all you viewers, we may have to pause at any given time because Nick's camera cuts out or because Bastion is throwing up all over his room. Or, other reasons occasionally. So it's going to be a great show. I'm super excited. Let's recap what happened last week. Who wants to do it?
I will take this.
All right.
What was the name of the city really fast that we started out in?
Newfort.
Newfort. So we started out last week in Newfort. There was an old man proselytizing to a crowd about the terrible goddess that is Cheese. We intervened a little bit. It didn't work out that well. It was basically just a bit of a shouting contest between two groups that got ended by the guards who broke it up because I guess tensions are high on account of the writ of homage. And they didn't want to have unrest in the town. Van went back the next day. The guy was back there and he cast an enthrall spell to enthrall the crowd and let them hear his side of the story. He spoke to the crowd and made a case for Cheese. And immediately after the party went into the keep and presented the writ of homage to the new count. The count had heard from a group of dwarves that Kine had riled up that our Baroness had not done enough to combat the curse of the Shadow Mountains and the disappearing people. A group of very angry, drunk dwarves all ran out from a tavern and just marched into the keep. And
I love how the narrative went from there's dwarves in this tavern to a whole mob of angry dwarves marched on or angry drunk dwarves,
yeah, only Kine could accomplish that. Like walk into a tavern of dwarves just casually drinking and turn it into an angry mob that demands action against another town.
But I love how it changed from like dwarves in a tavern to they're all drunk. Like that.
Oh, no, not because they're all in tavern, because they're all dwarves.
Right,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. It's just
like I played Dwarf Fortress. If your dwarves are sober, that is a major problem. So from there, we met the Count who asked us about the whole issue with the Shadow Mountains, and we told him that Baroness Valmont had actually done quite a bit of work. She sent us out there to investigate. We told him some of our findings, and he agreed to. What is it called when they respond to the writ of homage?
Respond to the writ of homage.
Yeah. He gave us his response, but said that we have to give orders that the curse of the Shadow Mountains is to be investigated and solved immediately. So we went back to Shirebrook. There were 0 combat encounters the entire way, which I'm still salty about. We did a little bit more investigation in the town.
Windshire.
Windshire. We stopped in Windshire, Kine's hometown, to investigate that village's disappearance. We looked around a little bit. We tried dismissing some illusion, like there was residual illusionary magic around the town. We tried dispelling some of it. We tried digging up some strange markings on the ground, but we were not able to find anything new, any new clues about what had caused it. So we went back to Shirebrook.
No, wait, there was a new clue though, Sean, when you cast Speak with Dead when you cast Emotion Control and got the vision.
It was the same thing. Oh no, there was that one thing. Van cast Emotion Control and got like a brief vision with the emotion that he captured, which was like a weird sort of haze, like not black, but not foggy either, just kind of like some sort of haze that made it hard, like impossible to see.
Abyssal.
Yeah. And after that, we went back to Shirebrook, discovered Baroness Valmont had been murdered 4 days prior. She had been poisoned, and quickly started an investigation into her death. We talked to Aldrich, who was not particularly helpful with the investigation. I mean, it's Aldrich. What do you expect? So we tried talking to Rohanna instead, since she was also working on the investigation, and she was much more helpful. And the party made some plans to go to the crypt the next day, cast Detect Poison to confirm that it was actually poison that killed her, and to cast Speak with Dead to see if we can learn anything new about her murder. And after that, I believe we're planning to go and track down Georg.
Because of what Rohanna said about the vision, right?
Mm-hmm, because Georg had a similar, he had similar, what would you even call it? 'Cause the vision that I had wasn't exactly clear, but he had like that similar sort of darkness in his mind when Rohanna attempted to read his mind before. So
yeah, when you described it to her, she was like, "Oh, that reminds me of the time that I read The Wizard of Misty Rapids' mind."
Yeah, so we're now looking to track him down to see if he has any information that might give us a lead on what is causing the disappearances.
After we try to raise the Baroness.
Yeah, We're gonna have to activate contingency plans here on that one.
Okay. So, you guys are in Shirebrook. It is, what, Tuesday still?
Yes, it's. I think we talked to her at night, but we just kind of
It's the evening, and we're still in Rohana's shop, I think.
Yeah,
This is the same evening that you guys showed up, right?
Mm-hmm. We're still there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is. It's past evening. The sun is down. It is nighttime. You've left Rohana's shop, and go.
But
for it.
He was gonna take us to the crypt.
Yeah, the next day.
The next day.
Right.
Okay.
So we can actually just go ahead and skip to.
I would like to go find Mother Elise, actually.
Okay.
And say, are you level 7?
Exactly. So Van is going to head to the temple and speak to Mother Elise, assuming she can.
You will have to wake her up, but that is not really a problem.
Yeah, I tell her it's somewhat urgent.
Okay. Is everyone here? The whole party coming to Mother Elise?
I offer. I ask if they want to come.
Yeah.
I'll go if he's asking us to go.
Sure. You guys arrive. One of the acolytes raises Mother Elise and brings her out into the main hall of the temple, where you guys all can stand and talk.
All right. Van says, Mother Elise, I have a proposition for you regarding Baroness Valmont's murder.
Mother Van Helsing, it is very late.
I understand, but time is of the essence here. Are you familiar with a, I guess to speak the spell in common, we would refer to it as uplift? And if you're wondering, it's an all-sphere spell, Neil.
She furrows her brow. Uplift. I am not familiar with that.
2 clerics can combine their power to temporarily raise the other's power.
Yes, two souls join as one to reach loftier heights and a closer connection with the gods.
Yes, I'm wondering if you are you sufficiently, dare I say, powerful enough to cast such a spell?
Do not mistake connections to the gods for power, young.
I know, it was
father.
simply for the lack of a better term.
No, I have not been fortunate enough to see such clarity.
Do you know any clerics nearby who might be? I can't do it myself yet, but I'm on the cusp of this, and if I can find another cleric capable of doing this, we could raise Baroness Valmont from the dead.
I don't think you can, young man.
Why do you say that?
No one has been raised from the dead in 1509 years.
I mean, I imagine there's many clerics in the world who are capable of casting this spell.
No one has been raised from the dead
No, not
by
raised,
holy
but
means
uplift.
in 1509 years.
Has anyone tried?
I cannot say for certain that no one has, but the power of resurrection was lost.
Not entirely. About 2 months ago, we discovered a scroll of resurrection.
The old woman leans forward.
It's long gone. I apologize.
Steady now, fan. We don't need to give up all of our secrets.
It's not a secret. I have no trouble sharing this information.
Where did you find a scroll of resurrection?
There was an old temple
I've
outside
got things to be attending to. I'm gonna leave.
There was an old temple outside of Copperhill.
The 73-year-old strokes her soft, fleshy chin. Where is this scroll now?
I don't know.
How did you lose such a priceless artifact?
It was never mine to take. As sad as I was to see it go, I honored my agreements. It's a sad power to lose, but I wasn't about to go back on my word.
Who has this now?
A wizard named Joris.
Well, it could be in worse hands, I suppose.
Yes. But from there, I ask you, why would no cleric be able to raise the dead? If the power of uplift would specifically grant that kind of ability, why would no cleric be able to successfully do it?
I do not have the answers you seek. Maybe you are the first person in all this time to be close enough to the all-powerful that they can do such a thing. Maybe you will be the first to do so. Or maybe there is something else at play here. The world is not as it once was.
I understand. Well, maybe there'll be more answers in Stromheim. I apologize for waking you up. Thank you for your time.
Your cause is just. You need not apologize for your actions.
All right, and I think Van just kind of bows out at that point.
Okay. All right, she parts her way, and I think we kind of just skip on to the next day.
Yep. So I'm going to take Detect Poison and Speak with Dead today, Neil. I don't have my full spell list up, so I'm just mentioning that those two spells specifically are on it.
Okay.
What to take? I'll say, I'll ask Van the night before. We're not planning to leave town tomorrow, are we? Or were you planning on heading to Misty Rapids then?
We could leave today, immediately after we're done with our business. Is there anything else keeping us here? I simply want to go to the crypt, do what I came to do, and get that wyvern skull. Or not a wyvern, I suppose, the dragon skull.
Yeah, what about that? Dragon skull and the hide in stripes or something. Cut in stripes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the clergy of Shybrook will pay
We're losing Nick.
fee that we sold it for last time, or were you planning to make it a gift?
Can you re-say that, Nick? You cut out at the start of that sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, do you think that the clergy of Shybrook will pay the same price as we sold it for before, or were you planning to make it a gift?
Oh, I don't plan to get rid of it at all. I'd rather we make our own use of it.
Suppose that could work.
So, Van, what are your plans now to resurrect the Baroness?
We have to find a way to suspend her body in time. It's the only way I see it at this point. And if we can't find a way to do it, then I think she's lost.
Suspend in time resurrection. I don't know if anybody should have this power. It's good to get rid of this scroll, but it sends a shiver down my spine to think someone could raise dead people.
Why does it concern you?
It is not in the order of nature. It shouldn't be this way to just bring people back from the realm of the dead.
It requires an immense amount of power. It's not the kind of thing that a cleric would do lightly. It's saved for exceptional scenarios. If Baroness Valmont isn't resurrected, I foresee trouble in Shirebrook's future.
Power corrupts. It always does. At least I think so. Wizards are the best example. We've heard stories about Misty Rapids. I don't think they are true, or at least what they say are truly this way, but if they are, this is the best example of power corrupting someone.
I find it's not as simple as labeling it power. I've grown stronger and stronger over my journey, and frankly, I think I've also grown as a person. I think people are molded by their circumstances, not by their strength.
I will not stand in your way. I know I can't stop you, but just as my thought, I don't think it is right, truly, in the nature of things.
I understand, and I will take your protests into consideration.
All right. It is Wednesday. I'm sorry. It is Tuesday the 30th, and it is a hot day. It's in the it's in the low 90s. Let's see if I can convert that to Fahrenheit for you. It's like 33 degrees out, Celsius. Low 90s, and Rohana. You guys gather at Rohana's shop for her to take you to see the body.
I sort of speak privately with Rohana. I kind of like speak softly to her. I don't want anyone else to overhear this. I say, "Will we have any privacy in that crypt? I mean, I see no trouble with the spell, but I imagine some would be unsettled by the prospect of me speaking with the dead."
There will be guards, but do not worry. We are there to do the right thing.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. People don't always act rationally, Rohana. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't in any danger.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
All right, and I guess we just keep going.
Sure.
As we're walking, I don't know if you'll remember this, Neil, but I'll mention to Rohana. I'll say, "Look, I know since I left, you've probably had other things to be worrying about, but have you had a chance to look into that research we talked about?"
Right. You had asked me to look into something regarding the Shadow Mountains.
It was a way to
the Baroness died while you were gone. I immediately forgot about it.
That's okay, but just remember, we killed a chimera, and I want to find a way to locate its lair.
Right. Locating Chimera's lair. When these things are done, I will see to that matter.
Sure. Well, just don't forget. Thank you.
Madame Rohana, I have a question too. I've heard several people now saying that, well, and I lower my voice, people were able to resurrect dead over 1,000 years ago. Did something happen at that time? Made people stop, lose
Gods
power?
destroyed the old church kind. The church had become... I think I'm in a better position to speak this story, Rohana. I am a cleric after all. The old church had grown corrupt. Excessive bureaucracy and power had done that to it. And the gods essentially destroyed it. No cleric exists today with that kind of power at their disposal.
That is... Yes. The end of the world happened. You villagers really don't know your history very well, do you? Living out the woods.
I know a few things, but history that happened 1,000 years ago.
The whole of the world ended. The continent was split apart. Clerics died. Mountains arose. The Shadow Mountains were created at that period of time. The great canals of Arcadia were created. The Red Desert flourished. All that flourishing. The southern continent was encased in a sheet of ice. The world ended, and it's taken us over 1,000 years to get back to this state that we're in now.
I'm just surprised that in 1,000 years nobody reached this height of power.
I intend to ask those questions at Stromheim. Because I'm just as confused as you are, Khan.
Well, let us go to the crypt. She leads you up the rampway to the castle, where you guys are greeted by Kel James Valmont, the gatekeeper. He's got that kind of flat, dull look across his eyes that he always has, and the middle-aged knight looks to Rohana, looks to you guys, questions Rohana what the hell you guys are doing with her, but in more dull tones. She explains that you're here to help her. She's got some ideas about the investigation. He kind of dully nods his head, opens the gate, and as two of the footmen here along with one of the retainer knights, escort you guys down to the crypt. So it's going to be Rohana, the three of you, one of the Baroness's retainer knights, and 2 footmen.
Sure.
They light some torches and proceed down into the crypt, which is located within the keep itself. The catacombs are stony and cold. It's some appropriate background.
It's safe down here, Rohana.
Safe? From what?
Well, I don't know. These kind of places tend to be home to unsavory creatures. I say, looking around nervously at the dark, cold steps.
Are you afraid of the dead, Malachi?
You would
should
be
be.
too if you'd seen what I'd seen.
Now. These crypts are safe.
Okay, well.
I hope so. If there's a wraith down here, we'll have to come back tomorrow. I didn't take any form of protection from the negative plane.
Let's hope that there's no wraith, shall we?
Let's
Unless
hope.
the wraiths migrated from the Tether Wilds, we should be fine here. There's a well-defended area, and there are no evil wizards setting a foot in here. Unless
Well, at least
you, young Malachi, intend on raising a wraith?
raising a wraith. No, I think that's even beyond my ability. Perhaps an odd skeleton, but you know.
The knight leading you guys stops and turns around, giving the two of you a very uncomfortable look.
Don't worry, sir. There's nothing to be afraid of.
I'm
grumbles.
just shaking my head.
And leads onward. You guys pass through the narrow corridors made of stone that line all these little alcoves. Not alcoves. What do you call a hole that you shove a body into? You know, like if there's a wall and there's a little section cut out.
I
and a
know
body
exactly what you're talking about, but I forgot the word.
There's a word for that.
Somebody in chat will say it. Let's just...
Yeah, those
This whole
things. The holding places for the dead. There are many of these. Most of them look to be minor people. Some of them have lavish clothes that are degraded with time, represent probably someone of more importance. Take a couple of winding tunnels and eventually end up at a fresh body with dead flowers still grasped in the hands. You recognize Baroness Valmont, and she's wearing a rich white gown of silk with pearls along it.
Okay.
How old was she now?
Baroness Valmont was 42 years old when she died.
I'll say it out loud to everyone. Does anyone else think it's a little bit strange that the Baroness has been poisoned at the same time that the Count of Newfort was killed? Or was he killed? Does anyone know how he died? Dwarves don't tend to die of old age.
I don't know anything about it. I heard it was an assassination.
Well, Rohana?
I don't know.
Rohana shakes her head. I knew that he passed. I didn't hear anything of assassination. I think he...
Dwarves
Dwarves die of old age. They're not immortal beings. They're not elves. And he has been Count for many... I believe over 150 years. I would not expect it to be anything nefarious.
Dwarfs.
I think the most common cause of death
I know it. We all knew a dwarf. I talked with him a bit longer than you, but dwarfs tend to get older than 150 or 200 years.
Yes, but
They
if his father was Count for a very long time and passed away, how old would he be when he took over?
Yes, you may be right.
By the way, I'm not sure this is the time for this discussion.
Indeed.
We have a job to do here. And then starts by casting Detect Poison.
Okay, let's take a look at the spell.
I think it's like Detect Magic. You just notice it like an aura, but I'll double check. It's first
I
level.
whispered to Rohana, it was probably liver disease.
The spell enables the priest to determine if an object has been poisoned or is poisonous. One object or a 5-foot cubic mass can be checked per round. The priest has a 5% chance per level of determining the exact type of poison. The material component is a strip of specially blessed vellum, which turns black if poison is present. So you pull out this strip of vellum that you've got, chant the spell, and hold it in front of the body. And the strip slowly fades to a dark brown and then a black.
All right. Do I pass my 30% chance to discover the type of poison?
You do not.
Damn. All right. I say I can confirm that she was poisoned, but I don't know the type.
Well, that's one thing. How about the next?
Right. So Van gets to work preparing a Speak with Dead spell, which I imagine is kind of like performing a seance. Like he lights some incense and he kind of probably draws on the ground a little bit with some chalk. And he prepares a bit of a ritual. And then he casts Speak with Dead on the body.
I'll try and calm the soldiers.
While he's preparing the spell, I shuffle over to Malaka and whisper to him, "You shouldn't judge people on their habits only or their race. Just because they're draws doesn't mean they drink. I've seen you in your tavern drinking with yourself. Literally." What's sad? Are you okay?
I agree with you about judging people on stereotypes, but if there's any stereotype that can be relied upon, it's that dwarves like to drink. I don't think you'll find a dwarf that will disagree with that.
Okay. So, you will have 1 minute, 60 seconds, and you can ask up to 2 questions.
Okay.
And as the spell states, the dead tend to give extremely brief and limited answers, often cryptic, and take questions literally.
Okay. I start off with the first. Describe do I see like a specter or a spirit of some kind? Like what do I see when I cast this spell?
You don't see anything.
Okay. I guess to start off, I say, do you know who poisoned you?
A disembodied voice fills the room, and the reply comes,
I say, do you know how you were poisoned? And then the spell ends. I turn. Wait, do I know if they can hear it or not, or if I'm the only one who can hear the voice?
I don't think you know, but everyone else did hear it. You might have seen them react. That's probably how you figured out that they heard it. The footmen kind of looking around, going for their swords. The knight keeping cool. Rohana not really paying that much attention.
Right. I turn back and say, well, it's not those weren't the answers I was hoping for, but at least we have them.
At least we know she was poisoned.
There's that. Would have liked to know what it was. Neil, would successive castings of Detect Poison be able to pick up on, give me another chance to detect the type of poison, or is it like a level up thing?
I think it's probably a level up thing. That's how identify.
That's how everything else works, so I would imagine so.
Well, hold on. Yeah, I think it's probably a level up thing.
He doesn't say it, but literally everything else in the game works like that, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Right. Okay.
All right.
You guys are standing around this crypt. It's cold. The whole way is lit by torches.
Van consults his memory really fast to see if he can think of any other spells that might be useful in this situation, and leaves it to the party to roleplay the scenario out for a minute or two while he looks at the spell list on Regal Goblins.
How sprawling is this crypt?
A funerary recess is what it's called, where the bodies are stuck. A funerary recess. Thank you, Mad Monk. What were you saying, Nick?
How sprawling is the crypt?
Not hugely. You've probably traveled a grand total of 100 feet underground. but the corridors are often narrow, maybe 3.5, 4 feet wide at most.
Is there room for me to go off walking sort of on my own, or does the situation seem like that would be looked down upon?
I'll allow you to interpret the social implications of that. The biggest problem to you walking off is that there's no light. The only light is in the torchbearers, and they have their own torches.
Sure, and I've got my light stone. Is it one long corridor that twists and turns, and there's like people at different doors, or is it like it opens up into a big room with loads of crypts?
It looked like there was one main branch, one main trunk that you walk down with corridors coming off of that, and you've turned off on one of the corridors. So you could walk to the main branch and then go down a different path if you desired.
So I'll go and do that then. I'll just try and walk away and go down a different path. Does anyone stop me?
No.
Then when I'm around the corner, I'll cast Detect Magic. And I want to just try and see if anyone's been buried with any magical items down here.
You sly fox.
But I don't want anyone to know what I'm doing.
I'm standing around whispering, so we are not wise of any knowledge. And then I'm wondering, so I look to Malachi, who's just walking off, see the light growing in the distance. Just shout after him, Malachi, what are you doing? Where are you going?
If it's before I've cast the spell, I'll turn around and say, I'm just going to do some exploring. You keep Van company.
Exploring a crypt. And he was the one who was afraid of anything down here.
Kine, you notice the knight gives a nod to one of the footmen who begins to walk after Malachi after he says that. Malachi, you've rounded the corner at that point. Anything magical?
Yes, do I realize I'm being followed?
No. You've moved around the corner, and
Nice.
the guy comes after you after that.
I still cast it.
Yeah. It's questions like this that make the DM's heart race. Like, oh shit, is there anything magical down here? I have no idea.
Better roll a dice.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's important people buried down here, so there's a chance.
There are very important people, but magic items would probably be inherited. But if someone was buried and no one knew that they had a magic item on them, then the magic item would get buried.
A ring or a sword or something. They got a memento from their life.
If it helps, Neil, how hard was it to get down here? Like, what kind of stuff would I have to go through to get down here?
You'd have to go through the outer curtain. You'd have to go through the inner wall of the keep, like into the main building. And then you'd have to get past a series of locked gates that prevents anyone from getting to the crypt. It is a highly inaccessible area.
Okay, so what you're telling me is if I want to try and rob a grave, I'd have to do it now.
Yes.
It'd be quite difficult to get back. Okay.
Very.
Then maybe you should work out what's down here now. I was going to say you can tell me later because I can always come back, but if I can't.
No, we're doing this now. I'm checking to see if there's anything down here. In the meantime, is anyone else saying or doing anything else?
I think Van doesn't think of anything new that he could cast, so I'm going to ask Rohanna. Do you know any questions I could come back and ask tomorrow? Or actually, I could take a quick nap and come back and ask questions. Are there any other questions you want to see asked?
Do they have to be yes or no questions?
No, but they will be vague. The dead tend not to give elaborative answers.
Rohanna shakes her head and says, nothing that I can think of that would help the investigation. I have personal questions about her policies, but that is not the time. That was not the time or the place.
You could ask if she shared hostility with your suspect, Rohanna.
It could, but motive would only get us so far, though.
But one would have at least a clue. If she shared some sort of hostility or something with them, something negatively, then at least a motive is something. At least, yeah. One step after another, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. It's even if we got that answer, I don't know if it would be enough of a boon to the investigation to justify how cumbersome dealing with speaking with the dead is. We'd have to come back tomorrow, prepare the ritual all over again.
We don't have much time.
I know.
There is a magical item, Malachi. You notice an aura way down at the farthest end.
Okay, so I'll walk down there to where it is, and I'll check out what kind of crypt it's in.
Your staff sheds continual light, right? In the 60-foot radius?
He has a rock that does it.
Right. Yeah. But it's a continual light at 60-foot radius. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I start, but
I know it's continual, but I'll see what the range is. It's next to me now. Light has a range of. Oh, I can't cast it. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay. You come across a body, a very, very old body. It has still placed around its head around its neck.
I just caught out nearly. If you were talking to me, can you?
Yeah. I was just confirming that your gem has a 60-foot radius and is continual light.
Yeah.
Okay. So everything is quite bright for you. There's no shadows. Nothing is hidden from you as you walk around. You come to the end of the main trunk and see the body at the very back is probably the oldest body here. There is an inscription above it, written in the stone, that seems to have been faded away, and a little bit of water is kind of leaking down the side, showing that it's just kind of the natural erosion of time has hidden the name of this person from view. The figure is was wrapped in some sort of gauze, but that's all faded and crumbled away. There's nothing left here but bones and a necklace that dangles from it. It's a golden chain that encircles a single jewel. And that jewel is radiating magic.
Does he know what kind?
No, he does not.
And what's
so here's what I'm going to do then. I turn around, I can hear the guard following me by now.
Yeah,
How far
you
away
can
is he?
definitely hear the footsteps. The guard is walking after you.
How far away is he?
30, 40 feet.
Okay.
Did he get how powerful the aura was?
Oh, right. The aura is... what is the...
Okay. I think it's 5% per level, or 10% per level.
It's like faint, weak, moderate, strong, overwhelming.
Right.
It's another overwhelming amulet.
It is a moderate strength.
Not bad.
All right. I'm going to just turn around and nod to the guard and walk back.
Okay. He comes up to you and says, "It's better if you don't wander alone down here. While these crypts are safe, you never know what lurks around a corner."
Yeah, you're probably right. I just was curious. I've never been down here. I've lived in this town my whole life.
Very few people do come here.
After you.
Of course. He turns and starts walking back towards the rest of the party.
I say, actually, do you know what? Maybe you're right. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I'm going to head back out.
I'll show you out.
No, that's fine. Don't worry. It's just up here, right?
Just the end of the corridor.
Thanks.
God damn it, now. You're going to get caught.
He's in front of you. It's a narrow hallway. It's really difficult to pass people, especially if they've got like a big burning thing in his hand. So he just keeps walking forward. in the direction that the party is and the exit is.
The exit and the party are in the same way.
Right. Yeah, so he's walking towards the exit, and which is towards the party, while the jewel is maybe 15 feet behind you.
Are you gonna walk out and cast invisibility?
That's what I was gonna do, yeah. So there's no way to get like sufficiently far away from him without seeming suspicious, is what you're saying.
really.
What I'm saying is his back is to you right now.
Yeah, but if I just disappear, if I'm just not there, he's gonna be a little bit suspicious, right?
Probably, if you look
I mean,
at
the door is open,
Yeah, so
right?
actually, yeah, I'll go to walk out.
Okay. He turns
And
off
then-
before you and heads back to the rest of the party, who I think is actually done with all their questioning.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we're still talking at this point, but I think we're probably wrapping up and getting ready to leave. Van's probably picking up all the shit that we used to cast Speak with Dead.
Cleaning up the ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so Malachi, the guard turns off. You walk past him another like 30, 40 feet and get to the exit. It's a stone staircase. All this is like kind of just carved out of the bedrock of the earth. It's not laying stone. It's just like chiseled out of the foundation upon which the castle is built. And begin to ascend the stairs to the first of the 2 iron gates that block the crypt off.
So what I would say is, let's say I turned around now and walked back relatively quickly to the amulet, took it and walked back. Is the distance far enough that the party might leave and lock me in before I could get back?
Depends on when they leave. If they left immediately, probably.
Yeah.
Although they would see the light from your staff when they went around the corner. It is daylight extending in 60 feet.
Yeah, but not. If I hit it though, they wouldn't. That's fucking it. No, I'll just walk out. I don't need this magic amulet.
We know it's here. We can always come back.
Yeah, I can break in.
You guys are evil.
He is evil.
It could be cursed, right? Who knows?
No, Malachi is evil.
Yeah, deep down.
All right. The whole party eventually leaves the chambers, exits the crypt, exits the castle, and makes their way back to the main town. People are going about their lives as they normally are, but you can see that there is an uncertainty in the eyes. Conversations are a little bit quieter. People are a little more aware of their surroundings. But life continues as normal in Shirebrook.
Right.
To the other 2. So, what are we doing now?
Well,
Vance?
I believe you wanted to go find Gaelic.
Yeah, but if you want to raise her, as I said, I'm not standing in your way, but you don't have much time.
I know. I've asked people around town. There's nobody in Shirebrook who'd be able to cast this kind of magic. We'd have to go to Stromheim, which will probably take longer than 4 days as it is. And even then,
we've spoken about preserving the body.
and nobody's been helpful there either. Aldrich said he can't do it. Rohanna said she can't do it.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You could try to take the body with you.
That would never fly. I mean, we could, even if we did try, we'd be rushing to get to Stromheim. And even if we got there, I can't cast that kind of magic right now, Kine. I think I can't ask them to let me take her body all the way up to the capital on a hunch.
Well, then maybe it's best to let it go.
Maybe.
Who knows if it would even work then?
That's
There
true.
must be reasons people have not done it before. At least successfully. If the old church was corrupt and at that time they had the power to do it, maybe it was the reason for it.
I forgot the church banned human transmutation. Sorry, nobody is going to get that joke. I'm okay with that. Moving on.
Maybe the gods took the power away as a punishment to remind men of how they are mortal.
Indeed.
It's possible.
If you would try it, maybe you would just, well, turn the wrath of the gods against you.
I feel if the gods would have turned their wrath on me for trying such magic, they would have made it explicitly clear that I'm not allowed to cast such spells in the first place.
Could you
ever
not?
ask?
Yeah. Could you not ask Chiss?
I could try. Next time I get the chance to commune with her, I'll ask. We have time. We're going to be traveling for quite a while.
Talking about that, we should rouse Jeeves.
Sure. While you do that, I'm going to go collect that dragon skull.
I'm coming with you. I see that hide could be maybe turned into something useful.
You mean the scales?
Yeah. Maybe
Sure. We still have that bag of scales in Malachi's house too. So now we have 2 bags of dragon scales.
maybe we could maybe do something with our shields.
Yeah. We could probably make you a suit of armor if we kill, 2 more chimeras.
I'm
Why don't
not
we just kill an actual
exactly
dragon?
for that, but
Well,
just-
I'll go see the Jeeves. You two can go and play dress up or whatever it is.
Sure. Van's gonna walk off and go find the tanner, butcher, whoever he took the dragon's head to, and collect the skull and scales.
All right. I think you paid him up front.
Yes, I might have paid him half, but I took it all off my character sheet.
Fantastic. It is the skull is bleached and boiled, clean of anything else, and the scales have been plucked and cleaned.
Cool. I thank him and take him with me.
All right.
So, whenever I get back to Malachi's house, he probably gave me a spare key by now.
Would you like to move in?
If I pull the dragon scales together with the ones that we collected from the last Chimera, what are we looking at in terms of content? Like, if I were to try and figure this out, how much could we make with that? Because I know you can make dragon scale armor.
Yeah, dragon scale armor. There's a whole section of it in the monstrous manual.
Right. It's pretty big, isn't it? Like, the Chimera was pretty big, so we probably got a decent number of scales from both heads.
yeah.
I guess it depends, though, because if it says like one adult dragon can make 1 set of armor, then you know I'm near it.
Yeah.
That'd be crazy, though. Like, adult
Yeah,
dragons.
that would be.
Aren't they, like, gigantic or something? The rule book?
Yeah, if you look at pictures of a chimera, that's this are a lot of
Let me see how
scales.
tall it is.
Yeah.
We have a pretty good chimera picture.
Well, it's a dragon head plus some neck, so
Dragon armor grants its wearer an armor class of 4 worse than the armor class of the dragon it was taken from. For example, a dragon with AC 20 would grant the user AC 16 armor.
That's pretty cool. So what was the chimera dragon head AC? Because it has separate AC for each of the heads, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Let's take a look.
And what's its weight? I know it's light. Isn't it like 5 per AC or something?
Weighs 25 pounds for the
So it's just a flat weight.
suit. Yeah.
Okay.
That's low though, isn't it, for good armor?
The dragon, the chimera's head is AC 18, so it would give you AC 14 armor.
It's pretty good for 25 pounds.
Yeah.
not
Like,
better
chainmail is
than my
40.
armor.
Yeah. I mean, it's a decent lightweight option if you need to travel light. And it's
Could have
probably...
made dragon scale armor for the dogs.
Oh, shit. Actually, no, because the chainmail barding is better for him.
Yeah, thinking about it, would it be of any use to maybe put scales on a shield?
It provides no additional protection, but it would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Didn't you say... you never confirmed this at a game, actually, but we did talk to a guy who said that it might grant protection against fire if we had like a red dragon's scales.
That is something I am not going to confirm as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
DM.
yeah.
I want that to be something that is rumored in
No,
game.
that's legit.
Yeah.
But I think we might actually look into that, like just plastering my shield with dragon scales. That'd be pretty metal.
Shields. Be quite interesting. So, when do you want to leave Van, Malachi? Tomorrow? Today?
He's off getting Jeeves, I think, right now.
Oh, okay. And Van, what do you think? Should we leave today?
It's still morning. We could leave today.
Indeed, we could.
Sure. You go meet up with Malachi. I'm actually going to go speak to a blacksmith about these scales, see what he can make. Oh.
And on that note, hey, it's been an
Time for
hour.
the
Why don't
first
we go to
break.
break? We'll see you guys on the other side of our break. Bye, everybody.